We saved our last character, Lumen Drifting Mist, who's our Swamp Whisper. We are now going to have a Forest Whisper. And so far, that's all we know. Let's roll a couple dice and find out how this character will grow. What cultural aspects can we draw from him or her? And we can answer that question with a percentile roll, straight up. Let's reset. Roll percentile. 47. We have another male character by 2 points. So we have a male Forest Whisper. Our race sources, well, we already have our own document. Not going to worry about that. Let's use the Morgue's distribution here for the alignment. And that's going to be another percentile roll. We rolled a 60. A 60 is going to be true neutral. They are medium size. There we go. All right. At which level will we generate this character? I don't know. Let's roll a percentile and find out. Boop. 97? My goodness. So we made a level 4 character, and now we're going to make a level 20 character. Pardon the sniffles there. That means, unless we roll a fighter, we are going to have access to 5 ability score improvements, ASIs or stat bumps, if you want to call them that. I'm going to roll a percentile set, and we're going to find out if any of those are going to be replaced by feats, or if it's all just going to be us statting up. We rolled an 11. It's all just going to be stat bumps. Pardon me. We are going to make all background sources available. There are 62 different backgrounds if we take everything that's official print into accounting. Hey, Cake Boss, welcome. I am going to roll a 62-sided die, and we'll figure out what background this character is going to have. Although, give me 1 second to blow my nose. Well, they are terrestrial, Azrael. I get the joke, but make no mistake. Let's come over here, generate a 62-sided die, and roll it, and find out what we get. 22. What is number 22? A faction agent. A faction agent, choose one. So faction agent, I think, is from the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. So let's open that up quickly. There we go. And we'll want to be able to reference this. In fact, I'm going to drag this. I'm going to drag this over here. Okay. Next up, after our background, sorry, my microphone's in the way. I have to. It's very inconveniently placed, but it is what it is right now. So we have our backgrounds now, our class and subclasses. I'm going to roll a d12, and then we'll base on that how many different subclasses there are because we have all sources that are available to us. Come back here, roll the D12, the big golden D12. 7. And 7 is a Paladin. This is a militaristic faction. Well, I mean, well, not faction, a militaristic sort of sub-race, a culture. And we have someone who has some military training, some, weapon and armor use, and is committed to an ideal. Now, there are several different paladins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to roll a 7-sided die, and we'll find out which one we're looking at. Come back to the dice roller, hit 7, and roll it. 3. What is number 3? Ancients, Conquest, and Crown. Crown Paladins. Crown is also at a Sword Coast Adventures guide. There we go. I don't know if there's an 8th bubonic one. All right, that is noted. Let's collapse this. And for class features, we're gonna have a fighting style. We're gonna roll a d4 and determine which fighting style our paladin will wield or use. We rolled 2. That is going to be a dueling fighting style. All right, that's noted. Bring this in just a wee little bit more. There we go. Dueling fighting style paladin of the Crown, Oath of the Crown. Once more, I'll roll a percentile to find out how old this person is. An 82. So this person is, this is an old person. So 63 plus 1d13 years. Generate a 13-sided die. So 68 years old. We have some grumpy old men in the party. Was that Jack Lemmon and who starred across from him? Anyway, so we have an old character who is 68. O'Sheeps is giving a wink and a nudge about the age. Walter Matthau, thank you, Azrael. Thank you. It was Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. In fact, yeah, and they were actually in a couple movies together and they're playing off each other pretty well. Although one or both of them passed away a little while ago, if I'm not mistaken. All right, now for height and weight, I mean, we didn't really establish that for the race. We just gave them a generally human lifespan. So we are finished with the randomizer. You know, we may need to come back for some aspects of the dice roller, but really, there we go. It's gone. Forget about it. Hey, forget about it. So we have a more sort of militaristic character here, and let's carry the sounds of combat forward as we develop him further. Yeah, they were in several movies. Yeah. Ooh, pardon me. we are going to begin with the background, because this is where we're going to develop our character's character. As a faction agent, now they have, these are Forgotten Realms factions, and we could just roll randomly to see if the faction that exists here emulates the ideals of one of them, or we could just come up with one of our own, which we may. Remember, the Forest Society had a cabal that seized power. This character, and again, hello, this stuff writes itself, everyone. This character could have very well been involved in this cabal that overthrew the old forest government through the military to make sure that peace was brought between the forest people and the swamp people. Hopscotch was a favorite Mathau movie for me. Didn't he play Mr. Wilson in Dennis the Menace? Sorry, stupid T-Mobile is not letting me access my voicemail. I pressed a command and it didn't work, so it's taking me long to fix this. Hypnotic Gamer, do what you gotta do. It's fine. We're here for a while yet tonight. Many organizations active in the north and across the face of Faerun aren't bound by strictures of geography. These factions pursue their agendas without regard for political boundaries, and their members operate anywhere the organization deems necessary. These groups employ listeners, rumor mongers, smugglers, sellswords, cache holders, or cache, depending on how you want to pronounce it, haven keepers, etc. As a prelude to your adventuring career, you served as an agent for a particular faction in Faerun, or in this case, what we want to name the region. You might have operated openly or secretly. Now, if we want to keep the idea that paladins are people of faith, the forest folk are known for their godlessness. They are very secular. Therefore, we may have had a religious or a philosophically backed coup of a secular or an agnostic government. Pardon me, I have some sniffles going on right now. I hope it's not annoying for you all. Alright, so, skill proficiencies. Insight and 1 intelligence, wisdom, or charisma skill of your choice as appropriate to your faction. So if we're going to get insight, there we go. I could very well see this being history or religion if this person comes from this background. Now for these people, history and religion are kind of interwoven because they study history, or I'm sorry, they study religion, but they don't treat it as a dogmatic practice or as an issue of faith. It's simply a matter of study. In this case, maybe we give him historical training because he hasn't studied religion. He studied the history of things. Okay, I'm for work later. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, Azrael, thanks for hanging out with us, and congrats on those pulls from the Ravnica boxes. And thank you for supporting the channel by doing so. Oh, Sheep says he did play in Dennis the Menace. Okay, so he was Mr. Wilson. Like America, as of late, they all worship Mammon. I'm not familiar with that name. It sounds demonic in some sense, or whatever, like Carpathian or Babylonian or something like that. Is it Vigo? Do we worship Vigo? Oh, Hypnotic. I'm sorry to hear. I hope you feel better. If you have something to treat that. Babylonian, I believe, says Nordic Geek. Ah, Mammon being money. Got it. Says it is due to stress. So I'm frustrated. Oh. So yeah, I guess it'll be a way to find some mindfulness or to find some relaxation or to lessen anxiety in some way, hypnotic. And so, hey, hang out here and we'll help your stomach. Hopefully. Wealth regarded as an evil influence or false object of worship and devotion. Got it, bubonic. Languages, 2 of our choice. So we're going to get Old Common, Deep Speech, and then 2 others that exist in the area. Now, this is a good interaction. Something to bring up with your DM. In a case like this, if there perhaps aren't other languages to speak from sentient creatures, if these whispers are the only ones, could this person, well, take a couple options. One, while the whispers traditionally haven't had access with the frontier town, could this person have? And in that case, could this republic of this outside faction have influenced this whisper and sort of started this? Could this whisper speak their language or languages? Or if we have someone who is looking to rediscover religion and is now being motivated, could they have picked up languages that could be associated with religious study? Or if you really want to bring it up to your DM and say, I can't think of 2 that this person would know, can I just swap this for a tool proficiency of some kind that's appropriate? Or meet me halfway, Mr. or Miss DM. Can I go 1 and 1? 1 language and 1 tool? And your DM may very well allow it. What's it hurt to ask? Now we're going to get some equipment. An emblem of your faction. Pardon. A copy of a seminal faction text. So, like a code book. Or in this case, it could be a religious text. A set of common clothes. And a belt pouch. Containing 15 gold. It pays to be a rebel here. Or whatever the equivalent of these people use for trade. Oh, gotcha, bubonic. Sounds like a cutie, says Oh Sheeps. Now from here, we don't get any mechanical benefits, but these are descriptions of, like a 1-paragraph description of each of the Forgotten Realms factions. So this won't necessarily apply, but this is something for us to think about in regards to who is this upstart faction that has recently taken over. Now we have a feature called Safe Haven. As a faction agent, you have access to a secret network of supporters and operatives who can provide assistance on your adventures. You know a set of secret signs and passwords you can use to identify such operatives, who can provide you with access to a hidden safe house, free room and board, or assistance in finding information. These agents never risk their lives for you or risk revealing their true identities. Oh yeah, there's a lot of lore and study and mythology surrounding that bubonic one, and I appreciate you bringing it up, and because all this can talk into, because we are on a bit of a religious talk, someone who's finding religion in an otherwise secular society. How does that manifest? What occurs? What could drive a person? What could motivate a person? And he is of a neutral alignment, so he is someone who is considerate I mean, maybe not like saying please and thank you. Maybe he is. But he considers many options. He weighs them. He isn't just lol, I'm evil, kick a kitten, or I'm awesome, cool guy, and I'm going to donate to the orphanage. Suggested characteristics. Use the tables for the acolyte background as the basis for your traits and motivations, modifying the entries when appropriate to suit your identity as a faction agent. For instance, consider the words faith and faction to be interchangeable. Alright, so we're going to go over to Acolyte. A for Acolyte, it's the first one here. And let's roll 2d8 and 3d6 to determine our qualities here. Bring this up. 2, 6, 3, 6, 2. 2, 6, 3, 6, 2. 2, 6, 3, 6, and 2. If I didn't tell you that all this stuff writes itself if we just trust ourselves to the dice, could I have written anything better? Maybe, but I would have been agonizing and plotting and trying to make all these contrived connections when the connections will just present themselves naturally to us. And we don't have to burn our brains out in trying to think of all this. I'm horrible at remembering things short term like that. I'd have to look back at the dice 5 times. Well, you say it a couple times. Hey, Rycon, what are we working on today? We are making characters based off of the new race that we made last week. These sort of will-o-wisp people. We just finished a little bit ago our swamp variant, our swamp sub-race, and now we are making a forest sub-race whisper character. Well, it displays very well, and it's keeping in with the product line, Hypnotic. Wow, a Crown Paladin. It can be called Kingdom or Empire Paladin instead of Crown, which indicates a King Dominant. Literally means King Dominant. Yeah, and we'll get to that, Bubonica. This is also going to tell the story of what all is happening in our region. All right, so our personality traits for this character, number 2 and number 6. I'm going to do. Oh, that's too far. Oh, hello. Yo. Hi. Personality traits. I can find common ground between the... Oh my goodness, this writes itself. The fiercest enemies. Empathizing with them and always working toward peace. And number 6, I am tolerant or intolerant of other faiths. So he's probably tolerant in this case. And respect the worship of other gods. What? Can't this line up better with some of the ideas for the race and region? It is, Bubonic. I don't have to modify anything. This is happening in real time in front of us. This was meant to be. And he's like, what did I say? What have I been saying? That's right. Ideals. Number 3. Change. Ah! We must help bring about the changes the gods are constantly working in the world. Bonds. Number 6. I seek to preserve a sacred text that my enemies consider heretical and seek to destroy. That can even play into What if he obtained a copy of the star map from our swamp character? What if these two met and they became friends and they exchanged ideas? Hello, 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 hello. I mean, if all of you weren't around for the week or so that we've been making this stuff, please just trust me when I tell you, this is all an amazing cap on everything we've done. And to watch it play out in front of us so naturally is just molto bene. Flaws. Because even a character like this has flaws. And it's fine, because we're all flawed creatures. That's why we got to understand each other and learn how to forgive. His flaw is number 2. I put too much trust in those who wield power within my... So, in this case, like temple. It could be a temple. Within my temple's hierarchy. So, he was an enforcer. He was a part of this coup that took over the forest people. But he's not political, per se. You know, he is the holy arm of the new government. And so he'll take orders, but he doesn't really question them. And this could lead back into some kind of conflict. Who knows? I don't know. We as DMs will find out, especially based on what our players tell us they're doing. Are you not entertained? Good golly gracious, everyone. I'm taking another sip. I don't care what you say. All right. Being a whisper. Let's go back to the racial traits. Whispers are these kind of will-o-wisp people. They were nomads that came into our sandbox region following a falling star. It fell, it left a mark on the world. It has this, you know, a radiation effect, a mutation effect, and the nomads that moved here succumbed to it also and became extensions of the star and of the land. And so they became these will-o-wisp people with these glowing cores and kind of a misty body. Which is, it's like semi-solid. All whispers, as we've created them, and if you notice anything that's mechanically broken or out there, call it out. We're stress testing this right now. Our ability score increase as a whisper is 2. We are medium-sized, and our speed is 25 feet. We get an ability called Phase Step. Natural difficult terrain doesn't affect you, and you don't suffer from exhaustion based on the weather. You aren't affected by the squeezing condition. Right? We have these kind of misty bodies. Also, we have variable illumination. The whisper, by the way, so we have 0 dark vision because we don't need it. We shed light. The whisper sheds bright light in a 5 to 20 foot radius and dim light for an additional number of feet equal to the chosen radius. The whisper can alter the radius as a bonus action. Additionally, the whisper can douse its light using the rules for drowning and with a similar death should the light remain out too long. Strength of will. You have advantage on saving throws against being charmed. In addition, you cannot willingly be made invisible or have your body altered by spells such as Enlarge, Reduce, or Transmutation. It's as if we're getting a glimpse into a universe that's meant to be. It might actually exist somewhere. Isn't this wonderful, O'Sheeps? Especially because, O'Sheeps, I know you've been hanging out most of the time that we've been broadcasting. And you're also new to the... You're newer, I should say, to the channel. Have you enjoyed... Now that you've had a couple weeks under your belt, have you enjoyed seeing what taking things step by step brings about the creation, the insight into things. Oh, you had 12 messages. Well, I hope you can get through those okay, Hypnotic. Sorry, it's something in my teeth there. I'm not making faces. Everyone participates. You gain proficiency with one skill of your choice or 2 instruments and or tools. So I'm going to put this down here in brackets. Everyone participates, and we'll manifest that in some way once we explore the character a little bit more. Now, we are playing a Forest Whisper. Our intelligence score increases by 1. As well, we have a connection to the sky. You are proficient in either the nature or religion skills. You add twice your wisdom modifier, although in this case, I think I'm going to change it to just be twice your proficiency, like your an expertise. In this instance, we have a paladin who has a religious revolt in a secular society. I think religion is going to be the way to go, and I click the little like sub button here to indicate we're going to get expertise in it. And then we have Searchlight. Once per long rest, a creature within 30 feet of you that you can see, you can use your reaction to grant advantage to the next attack you make against it. So you like point, and your glowing core lights up, and that is providing that is providing a better opportunity to hit. Just as the swamp folk have a better opportunity of being missed. And so we have like a yin-yang thing going on. This is right at my alley, and I never even knew. I'm glad, oh sheeps. And look, we spend, what, a couple hours every night I broadcast, so five nights out of 7 in a week. And even then, honestly, oh sheeps, how much of that time do we spend just, chewing cud? Well, that's a cow reference, not necessarily a sheep one. Unless, do sheeps have several stomachs and regurgitate it? Anyway. How much of that time is like popping minis, talking about our days, welcoming people, and just being friendly friends. Dun, 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 dun. You can do it too, everyone! Empowering! Storytelling! Creativity! Okay, we said maybe there's a third race that developed in the glacier, like a sub-race. We didn't fill that out, so I'm just leaving that off to the side. I'm not going to worry about this. All right, so we have our... Oh, we have to put Searchlight here. There we go. Okay. So we're finished with our racial traits. Now we need to go and discover what we're getting as a paladin. And we'll do that first, and then we'll come back to the Sword Coast Adventures Guide to see what we get from our subclass. Let's go down to our Paladin, our Paladin. Honestly, I've enjoyed my time here. I was just talking about this the other day, that this is probably one of the first streams where I wasn't immediately ostracized because I didn't know anything. And more importantly, I've never felt condescended. Also, the minis are cool, and I want them all. Just, as a side note, just, in parentheses, small text. Well, oh sheeps, I'm sorry that you have been ostracized from other channels for not knowing whatever you don't know. However, as this is a channel that is meant to welcome those who don't know what they don't know, we have open arms. I was also telling someone that you make me laugh every time I come in. Well, oh sheeps, just because there's things here that you may not be aware of, and you will over time, it doesn't make you what the little triangle golf tee puzzle at Cracker Barrel says, and an ignoramus. M-O-O-S-E, an ignoramus. I really appreciate Maddie in the community as he's helping with the GoFundMe. I try to talk to every streamer. They say no to helping me. I have also been through depression myself, and Maddie, you have helped me through these times. Hypnotic Gamer, I'm glad to do so. And look, the golden rule is something that I do believe in. And I can't help everyone. Believe me, I'd adopt every cat in the shelter if I could. I'd have my hair in curlers. I'd wear slippers. And just have a bathrobe. And I'd just be a crazy cat person. And proud of it, too. So I can't, but you know what? If I can help, if I can help someone find resources, I will. And I have. That's what I do in the store. Is there a kid who needs help because there's some trouble at home? Whether something that, is more innocuous, like, poverty, and we need to make sure that you're getting meals and medical care. Or it's something like there's an abuse going on at home, or if I've helped this with customers in the store too. Are you out of a job? I mean, I have an economic investment in you having a job, so sure, if we boil it down to just pure cold capitalism, I'm invested in you getting a job. However, it's deeper than that because I know, when you work and you earn money and you're purchasing your own things, and you get your own car or apartment, or you move up into a house and you're in a home ownership position, you feel amazing. You are engaged with life. The thrill of the hunt courses through you every day, which can be scary. Pardon. But when you come home in your car to your house, to your things, nothing can beat that feeling. And, I mean, people are involved, a relationship you have or a pet or, there's that as well. I don't want to be just materialistic here. So, I mean, helping is what I do because, you know what? I've needed help before. I can't tell you, I mean, there are times that I was razor thin edge to closing the store because things were just so tight or so stressful. And it was difficult. And I got help through those times from people who believed in me. So I'm going to mute this to blow my nose. Hello, Enchanter Kari. Welcome. I'm glad, and Coffee, I'm glad that you did too. I've really enjoyed getting to know you, and I'm amazed, at your art and your passion, and I love role-playing, with you. I mean, I'll say DM for you like there's a separation. Honestly, I'm role-playing just alongside you too. I mean, I give you prompts in the world, but I have to respond to what you give me back, so I'm in the trenches with you all. With the 5 of you on Tuesday, as a dungeon master, I'm in the trench with you. I'm biting my nails going, what is going to happen next? Oh, goodness. Well, I'm a crazy cat dad. I am happy that I've gotten to meet all of you, and I'm glad that you're along for the ride, whether you lurk, and you've been lurking for a month, and I haven't ever gotten to know your name. Whether you are a follower, a subscriber, you've gifted subs, you've adopted minis, or whether you just come in and chat every once in a while. I'm thankful for that time and the experience, and if there is a way, even if I can't help you, can I help you find a resource that can help you? Because one day, I might need to do so. I might need to call on one of your all's help because you are better or more knowledgeable at something, or have resources or access to resources that I don't, to help me. And I would like to know that that support is there. And if not by you, then by someone you know, or just a recommendation you provide. It means a lot to me. And especially if you all face things like depression, or, in my store community, there's a lot of, or I don't want to say a lot, like, give a percentage, but there are There are definitely a good handful of people who are somewhere on the autism spectrum, or they have some other learning disability, or a speech disability or something. We are measured, and I don't say this in a patronizing fashion. We are measured, in a sense, by how we help the least of us. People who may not have the things that we have, be it money, influence, a job, material goods, the ability to learn, or the ability to express yourself. All of these are commodities that many of us might take for granted. The ability to socialize fluidly with other people. And so when I say the least of us, it's not like you're an urchin, like a character, like a, an Oliver Twist, you poor unfortunate soul. I'm not going to ask you for your voice to help out, but for people who are in need, because they know they're in need. Many folks, especially if you are higher functioning, like Asperger's syndrome and not so much autism, you understand that you have these difficulties. And it's extra frustrating because you're aware of them, and confronting them is what is confounding. And so taking the time to help and explain, or to help someone find a competent, whatever, an adult, high school, college degree, otherwise, happy, healthy, whatever, but they are the least of us in the terms that they're looking for a job because they need income. They need to support a family. They want to move out and be on their own, whatever. How do we help them do that? What advice can we give them? Where can we direct them? I know I got on a soapbox, and I'm not building a Paladin in Dungeons and Dragons. But this is important, and you know what? What we're discussing here, actually, could be the basis, the moral impetus for why this faction took over, going back to our D&D discussion. If you are in a secular society, you may not have that level of compassion for other people. And it could have led to decisions that led to misery and war. So there we go. I'm bringing it back around for us, everyone. And I got to catch up in chat because I'm sure you all have been saying stuff while I've just been staring at a piece of plastic that is broadcasting me to you. So let's see. Maddie's an excellent host and snacks well too. This is all right. String cheese and meat sticks. Heck yeah. Maddie's crazy cat dad. You have helped raise $110 currently, so that's a big deal. That's awesome, Hypnotic, and I hope that after the podcast tomorrow, that will continue to increase. Enchanter has come in. I've enjoyed using my accent with someone else because that is rare. I reckon we've all found our huckleberries here. Oh, I love it, O'Sheeps. Yep. Actions are stronger than words. Enchanter says thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you, said accusingly. I think we've been enthralled with what you've had to say. It was an awesome pep talk. Well, it comes from the heart. And as long as I get to be around on Twitch, we'll continue to have these talks. And all you got to do is buy my minis. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Let's make a paladin. A level 20 paladin at that. Suddenly it all comes tumbling down. Oh gosh. Even if I'm the only one amusing myself, then it keeps the mood light. As a level 20 awesome Paladin of Compassion, we are a half caster, meaning we get 4, 3, 3, 3, and 2. Yay, we can cast level 5 spells. We get no cantrips, but that's fine. We don't need no stinking cantrips. Hey, Terror, it's good to see you back. Welcome. I've grown up with a mental illness that has made it hard to find communities that are the right place for acceptance for me, but to bring it back to D&D, creating characters has always been one of the best ways of coping, so it's really good. And honestly, it's been inspiring. Awesome, Sheeps! And especially if you can convey that through art. That's amazing. I mean, look at Coffee Cat. Coffee is finding tons of inspiration and motivation to draw based on the fantasy storytelling that we're doing on Tuesday nights. I've had a rough day, including a panic attack during a D&D game, so to come into a stream and hear all this and the love has been just what I needed, so thank you. Enchanter Kari, there you go. Thank you for coming by, and, you know, if you got a cool off, if you have some, you know, I don't know if you have any questions, or if you got a vent about something, we're here. Hey, Old Knock. Yeah, ew, more 5th edition. Old Knock, hold my hand. We'll get through this together. Alright, what other goodies are we getting in our 20 levels of Paladins? We get a +6 to our proficiency bonus. Baby. We are a D10 hit die class. We get 20 of them because we're a level 20 character. Convenient? Coincidence? I think not. We have this militaristic music. I think we got the idea. Let's go into something. Something. Suddenly, we're in Shanghai in the 1930s. Dumip, hello, it's good to see you back. Welcome. Do Paladins come with a butter attribute? Oh, gosh. Most likely, yes. Paladins. We'll have to give them some cooking utensil proficiency or something. We're having way too much fun for being at work. I'm pretty sure they also come with resistance to poison. Alright. We get proficiency with all armor and shields. We get proficiency with martial and simple weapons. We get no tool proficiencies. Wisdom and charisma are the proficiencies for our saves. Now we get 2 skills. Let's consider who our character is. Some parties might say, oh, does anyone have perception? If not, I'll take it. And that's fine if you want to do that and you want to fill in that way. When we create characters here, I love making sure that everything is just a part of who the character is. We get a choice of athletics, insight, intimidation, medicine, persuasion, and religion. Let's see, I can find common ground between the fiercest enemies. I'm tolerant of other faiths. I think we have insight and religion already. I seek to preserve a sacred text that my enemies consider heretical and seek to destroy. And I put too much trust in those who wield power within my temple's hierarchy. If we can find common ground, I'm definitely picking up persuasion. You love intimidation? Now, our other character had intimidation. I don't know if this character is intimidating, at least not in the overt kind of bully sense or saber rattle. He may have a presence of force. I don't know if he's necessarily intimidating. Although, if you see something that I don't about the character, you're welcome to point it out. This isn't my character, this is our character. Old Knock, do they get a tower shield proficiency, or is that even a thing? It's not. A shield is a shield. You get a +2 to it, Old Knock. You got +2 to AC. Paladins have a natural escape artist, too slippery to grapple. So I think persuasion is going to be a big one here for him. And if he is looking to preserve a sacred text, right? If he's on the run, or if he's had to overcome obstacles, or try to like hide it under a boulder or something and fight, I'm kind of getting an athletic vibe. You know, he's very strong. So he's strong of presence, and he's strong of muscles. See y'all Tuesday, I must sleep. Bubonic One, thanks for hanging out and sharing those factoids with us. Have a great night. Now, if you think it's different, please shout it out. Otherwise, there's that, and I believe also, if we want to include intimidation, and this is perhaps something that we can, and this is how we could do this, Hypnotic, right? We get inspiration from gut feelings, and the gut feelings just emerge because something seems right. Because of the racial ability of everyone participates, we can choose one skill or a combination of two tools or instruments for proficiency. If this person grew up in a military society, he received martial training. If we take a look at the soldier background, especially, soldiers get intimidation as a proficiency. And so he could have learned to project himself like that. So if we were limited to just those two skills, maybe that's how the dice would fall. However, it doesn't necessarily... it's a militocracy that is currently running. So he doesn't have to be a part of the military if we don't want him to, but he would be heavily involved in the militocracy that's currently ruling these people. But if we wanted to, and it made sense, we could take that skill and drop it in intimidation. Right? As a part of growing up, he just learned to project himself before he refined it, and he can still project himself, and he can also talk down a situation if it came to it. Equipment, I'm not even going to bother with equipment. We have a level 20 character. You probably, I mean, you still can. 5th edition is scaled as such. You can start with your starting armor and shield and weapon, and, you know, for the most part, you're good. I mean, you should probably get a magic weapon maybe at some point in time to get over some damage resistances, depending on the monsters. But if you want to play a low fantasy or something, then that's fine. It scales very well. But yeah, I'm not going to worry about starting armor and shield and all that stuff, because you're going to have it by level 20, and I want to keep focused on building the character and not worry about, you know, starting armor, like we would with maybe a level 4 character. All right, we're going to get a ton of stuff for being a level 20 paladin. We're going to get Divine Sense, so we can detect the presence of fiends and celestials and undead. If that doesn't play into someone who's newfound religion, extending your senses, believing in things. We're also going to get Lay on Hands, which we're going to put here in this side tracking area. Lay on Hands. We get 5 units of healing per level, so we have 100 total at level 20. We already chose our fighting style. We are a dueling Paladin. Spellcasting, we're going to get to it. Spellcasting is one of the last things we worry about. We'll get oath spells, and that'll come later. Let's find out what we get for being a paladin, not just the oath that is giving us stuff. We are going to get an extra attack. This will also be an aura of protection, and this is now out to 30 feet because we're past level 18. Also, an aura of courage to 30 feet. We have improved divine smite. And cleansing touch. Like a holy avenger. Yeah, something along those lines. Exactly, Enchanter. Dummup asks, sorry if this is off topic, but where can I find the miniature catalog to buy some? Dummup, that is... Coffee Cat, if you're around, can you help Dummup with that, please? Oh, Sheeps, made yourself a nice cup of tea. Also dropped the string to my steeper in the tea. This is the third time I've done this. Oh, Sheeps, you're slipping. Your enemies are waiting to strike. Now, our Sacred Oath. We are going to find this in the Sword Coast Adventurers Guide, aka SCAG, which doesn't sound as nice, but yeah, we'll roll with it. Paladins. Oath of the Crown is the one that we randomly determined from our character maker. Right? If we come back here, we have our roll guide to make random characters and interpret the prompts and enjoy the fruits of those labors. So we have the Sacred Oath, Oath of the Crown. The Oath of the Crown is sworn to the ideals of civilization, be it the spirit of a nation, fealty to a sovereign, or service to a deity of law and rulership. The paladins who swear this oath dedicate themselves to serving society, and in particular, the just laws that hold society together. These paladins are the watchful guardians on the walls, standing against the chaotic tides of barbarism that threaten to tear down all that civilization has built, and are commonly known as guardians, exemplars, or sentinels. Often, paladins who swear this oath are members of an order of knighthood in service to a nation or a sovereign and undergo their oath as a part of their admission to the order's ranks. Now, these are tenets of the crown. You as a player will want to discuss your oath with your dungeon master, because your oath will provide you so much flavor and it will hook you into the story. We are going to get some oath spells, so I guess we're going to be dropping those. Let's see, we had 4, 3, 3, 3, and 2. Oath. And we're going to copy this. Oath spells we just get. Now, they do consume slots to cast, but they do not count against the number of spells, of other spells we'll be able to memorize every day. We are going to get Command. Compelled Duel. Warding Bond. Zone of Truth. Aura of Vitality. Spirit Guardians. Banishment. Guardian of Faith. Circle of Power. And Gaius. Coming back up here, we're going to get channel divinity. The champion challenge. And turn the tide. You issue a challenge that compels other creatures to do battle with you. Each creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, a creature can't willingly move more than 30 feet away from you. This effect ends on the creature if you are incapacitated or die, etc. so forth. As a bonus action, you can bolster injured creatures with your channel divinity. Each creature of your choice that can hear you within 30 feet of you regains hit points equal to 1d6 plus your cha. I'm gonna go get some... You're gonna get some sleep? You need sleep, okay. Started sleeping while Maddie's streaming 2 seconds ago, so I think it's well needed. Hypnotic? Sleep well? And thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It means a lot to me that you take the time to do so. Zulurpai, the monastery near the forest city, is that what the Oath of the Crown is too? A religious oath could be? Maybe evidence was found there, or it was brought over in some way through a discovery by the frontier town or the swamp folk who hold these more religious tenets than the more secular forest people. Hey, Lasaria, welcome. Lasaria, I'm sorry I didn't get back to your list. Today has been absolutely busy for me. I have been doing stuff all day, whether it's outside mowing the lawn, taking care of the house, running out to the store. Just, I haven't forgotten about your list. I'll be sure to get to it on my weekend here on Sunday, Monday when I don't broadcast. We then get Divine Allegiance. You can use your reaction to magically substitute your own health for that of the target creature. So yeah, we can take hits for our friends. We get an unyielding spirit. Starting at 15th level, you have advantage on saving throws to avoid becoming paralyzed or stunned. Ooh, that's really good. Pardon. And our capstone ability at level 20, we are an exalted champion. At 20th level, your presence on the field of battle is an inspiration to those dedicated to your cause. You can use your action to gain the following benefits for an hour. Resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical weapons. Your allies have advantage on death saving throws within 30 feet of you, and you have advantage on wisdom saving throws, as do your allies within 30 feet of you. That's really good. This effect ends early if you're incapacitated or die. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. He is for sure a bulwark of his unit. Okay. We have the chassis of our character. Now let's drop the Hemi in it of a standard array of our scores, and then we're going to increase those scores. All 5 ASIs will be just that. We are not taking feats. Oh, and we put for our background, this was a faction agent. Strength and charisma are very important. Hey, Avalon, welcome. Strength and charisma are important to a paladin. You know, we have someone who's a little older, but whatever. He has old man strength. That's fine. So we have someone who's probably very keen. Dex is probably going to be his dump stat. We can start him out... maybe like 15 charisma. So we have 15, 14, 13. No. 13, 12, and 10. No, we're gonna swap the intelligence for wisdom. There we go. Now, we add in our racial modifiers. That's going to give us a 16 strength at level 1. And we add in our racial modifier of intelligence right there. Now we get 10 points, right? There's 5 ASIs, and you can put 2 points into something every ASI. With a natural cap of 20 into who we are and what we're doing here. I definitely want to bring... I think he is very strong, and he just projects that strength very well. Let's put 4 points into his strength. Let's put a 5th point into charisma. Let's put a 6th point into constitution. A 7th point into intelligence. We have 3 left. What do we want to boost? Wisdom should get 2. And we have 1 spare. I mean, so that it's a floater. Strength is normally where you throw a random 1 you have left over, because your strength score provides a mechanical in-game benefit. So in this case, I don't know, if it acts as a tiebreaker, it shows maybe he's on the way to something. Or if we just want he's in a tiebreaker situation, let's drop it in charisma. So the idea for an older PC is to have wisdom greater than intelligence because of life experience. It doesn't have to be no Zulerpai. I mean, we can think of that as sort of a stereotype or a base to start from, if we want. But again, just because you're old doesn't mean you're smart. Maddie calls them the weekend for him, but most of us call it the dark days. Aw, sheeps. You can always go back and watch the VODs. get the... You know, I've always thought... what if I did reruns of the show at a different time slot? So that people could enjoy the workshops maybe in the afternoon. And I haven't looked into how to go about doing that. But maybe that's something I should be doing. I just have to find a time or times to rebroadcast them. All right, 5 minus 1. Oops, minus 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. Let's quickly translate this over. We're just going to discreetly Control-C, Control-V this. Constitution 2. Intelligence is 1, except where it's not. So it's going to be a 7 history, and it's going to be a 13 religion. Wisdom saving throw is going to be 8. Insight is 8. Everything else is going to be 2. And our charisma is going to be 9 for proficiencies and 3 for non-proficiencies. That's going to come over to our initiative being a -1. So we are moving at Paladin speed. Our armor class, I mean, whatever armor we have by level 20, I'm not even going to worry about this. Passive perception is going to be 12 because it's our perception modifier plus 10. That's just a measure for natural awareness, and it saves a lot of dice rolls. It's convenient. You almost dropped your steeper again? I need to get a hook for it. Oh, sheeps. Invent it. Put it on Etsy. Become a mega thousandaire. Or, I don't know how widespread the problem is. But, look. Necessity is the mother of invention. You keep running into this problem. Has this ever happened to you? Oh, sheeps is kind of coming out with a teacup and then just... Here's an invention to help you out with this problem that plagues many people, we presume, all around the country. Snicer, hey, thank you very much. Hello, hello, and thank you. Mordecai's passive perception is bonkers. What's it at, Mordecai? If it's super bonkers, then I want to know so I can probably feed you more information. Woo, woo, lordy. Yeah, I'll I mean, there's some things that you just get a direct, like, you know, you're observing it. But I will keep that in mind, Coffee Cat. I didn't know it was so high. Mr. Wolfie, I do. And they're waiting to play with someone. Our character has a name now. It's not just a random collection of numeros. Let's calculate hit points. At first level, you get your maximum hit points of your hit die, so that's 10. For our 19 remaining levels, we get half plus 1 our hit points. So half of 10 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Then for all 20 of our levels, we get bonus hit points equal to our Constitution modifier. Here's our simple equation. So we have 40. Let's see, so that's 54, so that's 4. Carry the 5, that's 114. So that's 154, 164 hit points at level 20. If we're going, I mean, if we're attacking with a strength weapon, which we probably will, we're going to be swinging at a plus 11. And then, of course, you know, the rider and the damage is going to be, you know, whatever the weapon is, plus 5. If we're dueling, because we have the dueling fighting style, it would actually be weapon plus 7. If we're doing our fighting style. And we can smite on top of it. Ooh. If we're attacking with a spell, 6 plus 3 is 9. Plus 8 is the constant to determine your difficulty class. So to resist our spells is 17. Uh-oh, Mr. Wolfie, are you looking at stuff you want? English Mudkip, good morning to you. It is a very fine, well, it's a very fine and also very late evening, as it's 2:15, although for you it's probably what, 8:15, 9:15? Rin, speaking of hot, Florida is always hot. Save me, please. Everyone, please send, just point south and just send some cool breezes down to Rin, please. Oh, it's 7? So it's only 5 hours ahead. Never mind. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's only 5 or 6 hours. Yeah. Got it. Thank you. Well, so, super good morning to you. Man, you're a nerd getting up early on a Sunday morning to watch some D&D. It's just like AC can't even tell the difference. See? So, but you know we're trying. Hey, Tara's got you covered there. Gust of wind. Okay, yeah. Yep, so the channel's the time zone difference. Also got a Tyranny of Dragons session coming up. Ooh, as James from Pokemans would say. But Maddie, the heat done there is from the humidity. Yeah, and so really, if we can remove the humidity, if we could snap our fingers and reduce the humidity to 50%, it would still be really hot and sweaty down there. You got it. Okay, that's a good reason to get up, English. Well, I'm not making Endgame jokes. I have not yet seen Endgame. This was the meme off of if I could reduce the population by 50% with the Infinity Gauntlet. So I want to make sure I did not provide any Endgame jokes or references, because I myself have not yet seen it. Well, Wolfie, I will be around. I mean, hopefully. Sweat inside the AC. This place is torture for us naturally warm-blooded. Well, and that's why, you know, the alligators are going to take over. It's just going to have to happen. All right, so we have Lay on Hands. We have 100 points of that because we genned up a level 20 character. Our spell casting was 17 and plus 9. 17 to save, plus 9 to hit. Our spell casting ability is Chaw. And as a paladin, prepared spells equal our charisma modifier plus half of our paladin level, rounded down. So we can prepare 23 spells in the spell slots we have available, not including our oath spells. These do not count to the 23. Wait, I'm sorry. Nope. 13, 13, 13. 13, half. I just said it. I literally just said it. So we had no cantrips, and so every day when we wake up and we pray, or however you work it out with your DM that you get your spells, on top of your oath spells, you can distribute 13 spells from the paladin list as you would like to do here. Pardon my sniffliness. I turned on a dehumidifier and reduced the humidity in the house by 50%. Although MM3 pull does sound fun, but I should wait and not fuel addictions. Well, we're just finishing up our second character here, which was amazing. And if any of you do want to sponsor minis, it would be a good time to do so. Terror, level up and learn control weather, and then you can be happy with the weather you want. Also consider being a weatherman. And yeah, a dehumidifier can put in a lot of work. Yeah, Rin, I know, I gotta go see it. I just haven't had the time to do so. Especially because a lot of my evenings and whatnot, if it's not store stuff or personal stuff, I'm prepping for the show here. And I love you all so much that I have put off seeing Endgame to make sure that I am on my game to spend time with you all. I just thought of a sentence that had literally in it as you said it, not joking. Wake up and pray to your God for a different flavor of smite. Yes, Tenu, that is one of the benefits of being a Paladin. Whereas we were discovering a Paladin who fights with butter. You know, one of her magic items is a collar of green. Collared greens. Anyway. You run your Sunday night vampire game, and that means I skip seeing Game of Thrones. Oh. Well, that I don't feel as bad about, because I wait for the season to come out, I get it on Blu-ray, and I just shotgun the season. Hey, y'all, we're going to be cooking a butter cake. An OMG, Maddie. What did I do this time, oh sheeps? All right, we have our second character, by the way, everyone. Congratulations. He's compelling. He helped us flesh out what happened in this region that we've spent now 2 weeks of workshops developing. The history, the culture, the religion. Bringing all the clues together and making this an extra fun sandbox for our players to play in. Yeah, color green. And maybe we can revisit this at some point in time and finish making like 3 other characters and maybe even write up a storyline if we didn't want to just leave this as a sandbox. Although to show you all a little bit of ankle, well, not really. I mean, I have awesome ankles. I think you all would love my ankles. This coming week, I think I want to paint. I want to do some miniature painting. It's been a while since I've painted minis on stream. And so maybe this coming week, we can just sit back, relax, talk, and you can watch me paint up some minis to see just how easy it is to do.